Hey guys, this is Gary Swindell Jr. with the Emerging Adult, and I am here with these amazing black queens. Do y'all still like being called black queens? Y'all still like that, right? Because that's what y'all are. Come on.
Yes,
we're going to call you what you are. I'm super happy that you guys are here with us today. Listen, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourselves, and we're going to dive right into some of these questions. Go ahead.
Hello, guys. I'm Candace.
Hey, Candace.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tyresha, and I'm a holistic practitioner.
Let's go, Tyresha.
Hi, I'm Bunny, and I'm also a holistic practitioner.
I love that. So thank you all for joining us here, right here on the Emerging Adult. We just have amazing conversations, and so you guys are a part of it today. We're going to be talking about our appreciation, well, y'all's appreciation of the black man. Yeah. I'm super excited. I'm ready to hear this. I'm going to be getting all the encouragement in this. So just know I'm just going to be like, really? Us? All right, so y'all ready to dive into these questions?
I'm ready.
We're gonna go deep today. So here's my first question to you: what is it about the black man that makes him the quote unquote black man? Just go for it.
For me, it'll have to be the strength of a black man, the stability that they provide, the security that they provide, the comfort that they provide. I just love a black man with some smooth skin and a nice smile.
All right, Candace. Okay.
I love it. And in addition to that, because that's good, but I like a balanced man. Yeah. I think it's about balance all in all. So yes, those attributes can be nice, but are you balanced? And that's really the ideal for me.
I love that. Money?
I love both of those answers, and I think that for me it's the resiliency that I experience in black men and also the partnership that comes with it. I feel like it's just very different. It's so loving, and there's so much respect for myself as a black woman, and I appreciate that.
Yes, I love that. Now, Tyresha, you kind of started hitting on it. I want us to go deeper into that. What's your ideal black man?
I would have to say my ideal black man is a man that understands me, because for so long I have been misunderstood in relationships. So if you bring in that understanding and you're really trying to get in and get to know who I am, that's the ultimate black man for me. We could go anywhere from there.
Just understand.
Yes.
Come on. All right, Candace.
I love it. I think it's also about him understanding himself. If you don't understand yourself, you can't understand us. You have to know who you are to articulate. And so understanding yourself, knowing where you come from, knowing what you're growing through is really important and very ideal.
I love that. Bunny?
Yeah, I think that some ideal characteristics for me is someone who is balanced, I think, in their masculine and their feminine. You know, I think that's an important part, not only for myself, but also for any black man that I encounter. So being balanced and then also being emotionally vulnerable. Yeah. I think that's so key for us to have those deep conversations and form a really loving relationship. We need that vulnerability there.
Yeah, like being open to be embraced.
Exactly.
Women, right?
To be embraced and to allow it.
Come on, and to allow it.
To give and receive. Yeah.
I have a great question for you guys. How can black women protect our black men?
I think that we do already, and it's to the point of coddling sometimes. Ooh. And so I think it's really about the system that we grow through, and creating boundaries and barriers to protect in that way, because black women have already done it. So in order for us to be balanced, I think there has to be some accountability to the system, but also to internal growth, and then we can support.
I love that. Any more thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that we need to grow together. So part of protecting is being there to support along the way. Yeah. So not giving you, okay, now you can go do it yourself, but I'm right here with you along the way. What do you need that support for? And I also think that love languages are really important to understand that, to know how we move and what we need. And I think that plays a big part into protection.
I'm going to go back to something you said. What's that fine line between protection and coddling?
I was going to speak on that because I think that black women have to accept accountability to where they are not coddling in a sense of trying to be a mother to their partner, but being their partner to their partner. So you have to take away the mothering aspect and be more of a support system and a motivational person to your partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It goes between caretaker and healer.
Right.
We are queens. We are healers.
Yes.
That's who we are. And so you're asking us to support the Black man. Are we going to heal them? Are we going to take care of them? Are we going to provide the support, this safe space, or are we going to coddle them and tiptoe over their traumas?
Yes.
Wow.
We don't want to do that.
I love that.
Yeah.
So now it brings us to this conversation, because there's a lot of conversation around Black men being afraid to, what if I don't have it all together? So where does that line come in between, I'm not coddling you, but I do understand you don't have it all together? And just a part of that, are women still okay with men not having it all together?
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead. Speak.
I think so, because I can speak for myself right now. I'm in a space where I'm not looking for a man to come in and be 100%. Because we can get there through communication, through just like being around each other, learning each other. So we can get there, and I'm here to support you. And I think that's a space that I had to learn to be in. Like, because before I expected a man to come in and be 100%, you all together, you already healed, all of that. So I mean, it's not necessary in this space that I'm in, because we have to learn together, grow together. Was
it an experience that got you to that place? If it's too
deep,
say skip over that, Gary. Skip over that.
Probably multiple experiences. Yeah. So just as like, young and dating and being in relationships, you learn yourself, you learn what you like, what you don't like, those type of things. So moving forward, what I'm going to go for, what I'm going to appreciate, what I feel like I could bring to the table, what I want my partner to bring to the table. So those type of things. It's just a learning experience.
Yes. Tyresha, I got a question. Is there a line, and this is for everybody, is there a line that you get to that you say, okay, I was allowing you to grow, but this, I'm not going past that?
I think it goes back to your values and your baseline standard, right? Because if someone has a growth mindset, then you're essentially saying, I love you enough to meet you where you are and allow you to grow. So you have to have patience. You have to have peace and purposeful flow. So I think it's about stagnancy.
Okay.
Are you growing? Are you processing? Are you doing the work to heal, to grow? Wow. So time,
okay.
Yeah,
time and patience. I love that.
Yes. I think it's difficult to expect someone to come in at their 100%, because am I showing up that way? Like, I have room to grow. I have things that I need to heal and become the better version of myself. So I think it's unfair to place that expectation now if I know that I'm not there. I think it's something that we can do together. Yeah, and that should be the expectation.
Going back to the healing conversation, what are some of the things, because I think a lot of times maybe Black men don't even know you guys are healing us. So we may look at your healing as taking advantage or being burdensome to us. But what does healing a Black man look like to you?
Patience, communication, understanding.
You guys are understanding.
Understanding where they are.
Yeah.
Having an open mind. Mm-hmm. And just learning to be there for them, showing up for them. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what it is.
I think we're often their safe space. And when I say we, I mean the Black woman who is mature enough to hold that space, not the one who nags or who's needy and demands that he do this for her without her doing it herself. Right. We're talking about the woman who can sit herself aside for a moment to provide the space that the system has robbed them from. Mm-hmm. So when we come from these broken homes, when we come from, our fathers being in jail, okay, it doesn't create this space for the Black man to grow in balance, where he can be vulnerable, where he can learn to provide, where he can have fun. And so safe space is really needed in order for them to facilitate their own healing.
I love that.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I think a big part of the healing as well is that you're healing as a Black woman, right? Like, you're doing the inner work and you're coming from a healing space. And I think that just in its essence, the energy that you bring, the understanding, the love, if you're healing within, then you're also going to be able to provide that space for a Black man.
Wow. As a Black man, I'm loving this. I feel healed.
Therefore you are.
Therefore I am. I love how you said this though, as a healer, but you're still there to help them facilitate their own healing.
Yeah. Right.
You know, because I do think sometimes we look at you all like, well, then heal me then. It's like, no. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna be there for you. You know, so you can facilitate.
Our love is healing.
Yes.
So the fact that we are loving you and showing up for you how we do, that is the healing that we provide, but it doesn't take away the accountability to do the work yourself.
I love that. Now that leads me to this. So with everybody, and I'm going to assume that you all have been in relationships, you know? And if you haven't, you'd be like, well, I ain't been in no relationship. That's cool. So with the healing and with the things you've learned, what would you say is the black man's greatest difficulty right now? Or one of the difficulties that you've seen as a black woman? Because it's a lot.
That's so hard to make so simple, right? I'm going to think a little more.
Okay.
I think that for me, it's, and I'm going to go back to this, and I've mentioned it before, is the emotional vulnerability, right? And I don't mean, you know, having someone just experience their feelings. I mean, discussing it, talking about it. What are you feeling in this moment? What are your feelings when you go through these difficult times? And I think that that allows us as a partnership to be in touch with that feminine energy as well. And so I think that's the most difficult part, is being honest with the emotions that you're experiencing.
Wow.
So not only vulnerable, but honest with yourself about them.
I would say honesty as well, but I will also say operating in what a man should be, because so many of our black men don't have the example. So because they don't have the example, they don't really know how to operate in their masculinity.
Yeah.
So I feel like we as women, we have to sometimes nurture that and provide security for them as well to be that man.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah.
I would say that it does have to do with the emotional maturity and vulnerability as well. But also the space to be. Yeah. Okay, so that can go into emotions, it can go into providing, it can go into playing with their children. But I think it's just being. And the system has shaped men to conform, to go to work, to provide, to be strong, to dress a certain way, to hide themselves, to be the shell. And so how will they break that without the space to break it? That's what's harming our black men right now, is they have no space to break and to heal and to thrive.
So that leads me to this question, because everybody would be so upset if I don't ask this question. What is your view of male masculinity? They would get, everybody's asking this question, every interview, all that. So we got to hear it from three. Here's the question, because we always ask men that, but I would love to hear this from three black queens. What does masculinity or male masculinity look like to you guys?
I guess I'll go first. It looks like someone who's emotionally available, someone who's an effective communicator, someone who strives to understand the aspects in which we are operating. So it can be like whether or not we have a platonic relationship or a romantic relationship, just understanding where we are as two individuals coming together.
I love that. Thank you, Candace.
Thanks, just swing it over here. So I think there's a big difference between toxic masculinity and what healthy masculinity is. And I think that that's also a really big issue for black men right now, is figuring out where do I fit in the middle and what's comfortable and what's authentic, and what is society telling me versus what am I experiencing. And I think that masculinity at its core is the ability to communicate and to be driven and to know oneself and to be honest, and also to be emotionally available. And I think that balanced masculinity is what we need to encourage as much as possible. Yeah.
I love that.
I agree. I was just going to say it takes the balance. The ebb and flow is really what masculinity is, right? So when you're asking the feminine to be soft, to move slow, to receive, you're saying don't provide, don't produce, don't give. And so if there is to be a balance, then he has to also be able to ebb and flow between providing, but also receiving the nurture, receiving the care.
Yes.
That's it.
Oh, I'm loving this. So we got to wrap this thing up. I have one more question for you guys, and I'm super interested to know your answer. So can you share one positive situation with a black man that changed you?
Well, like I previously stated, in past relationships, I have been misunderstood. So in one relationship that I was in, I'm no longer in that relationship, but we are still friends because he provided a space for me to be vulnerable. That's not easy for me, even though I'm a woman and everybody think that it's so easy for a woman to be vulnerable and emotional. That's not easy for me. Right. So he provided that space, and I was able to be honest and open with him. So I appreciated that.
I love that.
Can you repeat the question for me?
Sure, Tyresha. Can you share one positive situation with a black man that changed you?
I would have to say growing up with my uncle.
I love that.
He really provided the basis of communication and knowledge and driving my understanding for life and the system. And so his ability to communicate and share his emotions and love me and see me, those are things that little girls need. They need to be seen. They need to be nurtured in that way. And so it was a beautiful experience that has shaped my perception today.
I love that for you, Tyresha. I love that for you, Candace. Bunny, you got one for me?
That was really beautiful, both of you.
Was.
I think that for me, I was truly seen by a black man at my lowest point in my life when I didn't understand myself and I didn't know who that was and I wasn't living authentically. And he was able to see me and say, I love you and I support you. And I see the woman that is in there, and that has changed my life in more ways than I can describe. Yeah.
Wow. I want to say thank you guys so much. I want to say I see you. I see you guys. Everything you all said was super enlightening. And I know everybody watching is just going to be so just edified by what you guys said. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Thank you to everybody who's going to share this, all that kind of stuff. We want you to continue subscribing to The Emerging Adult. But I'm Gary Swindell Jr., and I want to say thank you to these amazing black queens one more time. Bunny, Tyresha, Candace, didn't they do an amazing job? And so we want you to continue watching, but thank you so much.